What's up Team KBA, One Tech Traveler here. This is Last Shelter and we are in Season 5, Week 3 of Eden Dissidia. Today is the first S4 hero tokens drop that we're going to check out. We have Juggernaut and Hummingbird, which means Commissar is going to be paired with another of the other smaller hero pools. I'm kind of hearing and expecting it's going to be Venom Walker in Week 5. And then that would mean in Week 7 we should be getting Caesar with... who else was in S4? Dusex. Yeah. So again, just my prediction. We'll see how it plays out, but it gives you kind of a roadmap of how you want to prepare your tokens. You can see here I have 3,580, so definitely enough for one. Personally, I'm not going to be dropping my hero tokens in this, and I'll give my wide reasons shortly, but in this case, it could be right for you. Now, before we dive into each one of them, pre-SX hero tokens are going to cost you 60 tokens per 5 fragments. You need a total of 200, which means 2,400. So it's the same as with all the other previous season heroes. And if you're going to spend your hero tokens, you need to make sure you saved at least 2,400 and pick up all the tokens within that cycle. If you only pick up partially, which I don't recommend, then you only have the remaining amount of that hero to purchase when they come back in the cycle. So if you're going to dip in, use all those tokens. Now we can see it's S4 Hero Exchange 1. You can see we have Group 2 a little bit ahead, which is going to be in 11 days. There's roughly a 2 weeks refresh cycle from when they start, which means if you are doing your 60 hero tokens a day, then you're going to have 800 tokens saved up in between cycles. Just bear that in mind. So firstly, bottom line, should you be dropping your hero tokens on these? We are in the first season of SX, and after the first Eden Dissidia season, then that's when SX is going to start rotating. So looking at that a bit ahead, just assess how many hero tokens you have and whether you will have enough or have a bit of a shortfall from when SX starts to rotate. Probably have some time. Again, keep that in mind. Dropping your hero tokens, 50-50. If you have Juggernaut or even don't have Juggernaut, I would say hard pass no. For Hummingbird, a bit more situational. So if you already have Hummingbird from season 4, whether that was your DD season tickets or you picked her up in the hero drops, then Hummingbird would be a great choice and a time that you would want to pick her up. If she's only going to be the single copy, generally I would say no. Unless you already have all the other heroes maxed or you have a crazy amount of hero token stack, generally you shouldn't buy just a single copy of them because they're not going to be usable. But if you have the other heroes, then you could start working on her. In the long game, however, Hummingbird is still going to be an essential shooter hero, plays strong still in SX. So for the long roadmap, she is someone that you would want to pick up going forward. Again, depending on your development, depending on which heroes you are focused on developing, then the question is completely up to you. But for Juggernaut, I would say definitely not. He is a fighter hero, and from my S4 hero videos, he was kind of passable, not really much of an upgrade from Viscount, and definitely in SX, as I talked about how fighters are crazy strong with the amount of healing that they do, counters and even troop recovery block. Juggernaut's just not even going to hold there even in max status. You already have him well developed, I would still say no, just because, you know, he was still going to be serviceable if you have a developed version of him. But you want to be saving those hero tokens for SX because Juggernaut is just not going to hold up against the kind of SX heroes that you will come across. Now, if you want to look why his numbers are so, 40% chance is good, so it will be pretty frequent, but damage numbers is not, about less than 400% total damage, and might reduction of minus 38% is okay, but nothing special. Skill 5, Shield Bash, 100% chance, activates all the time and it's a status, so it's not going to be countered. and anytime his base attack is great. Just 120% damage though is not much, less than compared to say Viscount. So the overall number, not much. And then finally, one-man legion. First 2 turns, all friendly squads take a minus 30% damage reduction. After that, they will recover units equal to 30%. Again, not really the best. I've also mentioned about how Tech Priestess from season 3 was just crazy. She holds up well. She holds up well into season 4 and then also in Essex. So she would just be my preferred fighter hero that you can use in the front. And then also just in Essex, he's just going to be way down the pecking order. So using your tokens on him, I would honestly say don't. It's kind of going to be a waste of your hero tokens, sadly, if you already have a Juggernaut. But for Hummingbird, again, she is an exception because she is an incredibly strong shooter hero. So for me, I don't have any workable shooter formation at the moment. And you can see I have 1.5 sets of hero tokens. So as much as I would like to pick her up, I'm focusing on my other heroes, and a single dupe, like I say, is not going to do anything for me now. So I'd rather just focus on what I have, on building them stronger before I move on to a new project of a hero like Hummingbird. So single dupe, but if you already have Hummingbird, like at least 1 copy, opening up her skill 8 is going to unlock strong potential from her, and is already usable as a back row as long as you've got good heroes in front supporting her. But yep, she was a top tier hero in S4 and definitely plays in Essex. So in terms of her longevity, she is a hero that you'd want to pick up at some point. It's just whether that point is going to be now. Totally up to you. Quick look at her skills. She is more combat skill focused. 40% chance is good. Attacks twice to 2 enemy squads and deals 142% damage each. So that's a total of 284% total in the first round of attack. Times that by 2, then you're looking at 568% total damage. So pretty good. And then we have puncturing shots. So she is a back row shooter hero that I mentioned, which means she has, and all of her skills are combat skill focused, so she's just gonna load a lot of damage. 30% chance, okay, but she deals just less than 1000% damage to all enemy squads, so it's a nice broader skill to deal damage. And then we also have a nice counter depending on the hero, so fighters cannot recover units. Enemy vehicle combat skill damage reduction of 50%, which is huge. And then enemy shooters are disarmed, lasting 1 turn. Shooter disarmed is okay, but I think against fighters and vehicles, those skills are a lot stronger. It does only last for 1 turn, but yeah, nice complementary to good damage here. On her skill 4, I forgot to mention, she's also the only hero with a very unique skill 4, whereas it's just a normal like might increase to the squad. In her last stand, she basically applies, instead of a 40, a plus 60% increase in troop might to her squad, a plus 20% increase in damage that she deals, which will be both troop attack and combat skills, but it also means she has 20% increased damage taken, so she will receive more damage than a typical hero. And the trade-off there means that she's going to be front-loading damage, so I really like that. It's kind of that last, as I mentioned, last stand, give everything you've got. Hummingbird would be a great one that you can develop if you already have access to her. That was the first S4 hero group exchange in the token shop. Hard pass on Juggernaut regardless of the situation. Hummingbird, a yes and no, really depending on your situation. Just for single dupe, no, unless you already have all the heroes max or just crazy amount of tokens and tickets that you can, it won't affect your chances in Essex. Otherwise, only pick her up if you already have a copy, already usable with just her skill 8 to open first. But if you have anything more than that, then I would say go for Hummingbird in the token shop. So thanks a lot for joining me, Team KBA. That was the first token shop refresh for S4 Heroes Season 5 Eden Dissidia Week 3. Make sure you check out the rest of my Last Shelter articles, guides on my website, as well as my tech, travel gear and anime at onetechtraveler.com. And if you haven't yet already, join the Team KBA community by subscribing to my YouTube channel just down below. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, keep being awesome. Peace.